Hey everybody, it's your girl Jane B, aka the CommonSenseDiva, and I'm here for another review of Insecure Season 4, Episode 6, I'm Done. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this is a lot of firsts in this episode, things we have not seen in all 4 seasons, a lot of metaphors, a lot of growing, a lot of things that we just need to break down and discuss to see if you guys saw what I saw. Y'all let me know though. Whatever I talk about, drop down in the comment section. Be like, Jane, I saw that, or no, girl, I didn't see that quite like that. But anyway, let's get right started. Let's get started. So I titled this, Is Issa a user or nah? Is she a user or nah? Let's see. So this is the first time in all 4 seasons that we are seeing Issa by herself with no other castmates around her, by herself, to be left to her own devices. Because usually Issa has someone to play off of, be it for advice, or if she's maybe giving advice, or if she's doing something that she needs someone to, to go along with her. This is the first time we're seeing her all by herself after that whole debacle that went down with Molly at the block party. So we start the episode, this is like the day after the block party, and she's just laying in her bed because although it was a euphoric event, it was like a crazy event at the end where it was like just earth-shattering after this amazing event that I put on, that I would end up fighting my best friend and almost coming to blows. Okay, so she's laying in the bed. I guess she's just contemplating everything, and then we just see that her I guess her phone is blowing up, her voicemails are blowing up, Facebook messages, I'm sure Twitter and Instagram and everything else, where people are just giving her praise. A lot of people are just like, your show was the bomb, it was amazing, when's the next one? You got Kelly reaching out, her mother left a voicemail. And what was so crazy is that sometimes even with all of the goodness that you've had, the success that you have had, if something's going on with your mind, you can't even get past that. Like, you have to, like, I guess, deal with whatever's going on before you can even appreciate the goodness that has happened. Okay, so while she started, I guess it was a Sunday, I'm assuming, so it's self-care Sunday, she's starting to clean her house and things of that nature. And wait, did y'all check out she had a mask on while she was cleaning her fridge? I was like, see, that was a foreshadowing. We didn't know, but she had that mask on. Okay, she was cleaning her fridge and everything, and then the phone rings, and it's almost like she rolls her eyes a little bit like, oh God, how am I going to deal with this? And it turns out that it was Nathan, and Nathan was basically calling to check up on her to see how she was doing, and she let him know what was going on. But then she was like, listen, is everything cool? Because I know, like, basically your name came up in this argument. And he was like, nah, everything is good. So he's not even tripping. Like, she's definitely tripping because this is, I'm sure, first for her as far as the blow up to that level goes. And she just wanted to make sure, but wait a minute, are you good? Because I don't want to really be like that user, like that I was basically being accused of being. And I mean, what I'm seeing is that she could not even really focus. Y'all already know I'm going over my notes. Holla. And so, she's, going over in her mind the feedback that Molly gave her, and she could not shake it. She really, really could not shake it. And then, so as a result, now she's going throughout her day after Self-Care Sunday, reflecting on what Molly said. And you know how, like, when someone says something about you and you try to change it like instantly, mind you ain't done no soul work, but you try to change instantly. So now that Molly done calls her a user and everything else, now Issa is starting to overcompensate for her being a user. So what she does is, the first thing we see, she's in the supermarket with the pregnant girl. I was really not understanding that. The pregnant girl looked really good. She was glowing, hair was popping, outfit was cute, and she was needing help. So I'm not really sure what that was about. And so Issa's looking in the mirror, and her mirror self be just talking to her. Her mirror self was like, don't do it. But the girl was asking for help, and I guess people was doing whatever. And by the time she got to Issa was like, okay, I got you. Again, you overcompensating because you didn't even have the money on your card to be able to pay for this lady's groceries. See, because you acting too fast. You acting out of emotion, and you not really acting out of what you can really do. And are you really compassionate about this young lady? So, she comes up, she takes the young lady's, groceries, didn't have enough money. She was like, I'll just keep the wine. I'm sure the wine was like $10. Like, that's all I got on my card. But, everything worked out with the lady. She was like, okay, thank you. At least You gave me hope that people are good out here. So Issa leaves and she's still in this overcompensation mode. So now she or as she's on her way to her event, she sees George. Now, y'all, this here had me laughing out loud. I mean, I was literally laughing out loud. She runs into George and she was like, hey, I saw you missed your bus, but come on, I can give you a ride, things of that nature. So all of a sudden, he's older. So he's automatically like skeptical, like, is this Uber, is this Fuba or Fifth? He didn't know what it was. And she was like, well, I drive for Lyft, but this is just me right now. I can give you a ride, whatever like that. He gets in the car and just immediately goes in with the, I don't trust, Googling my address. He don't trust nothing. I mean, when I tell you he was going in, I was laughing out loud. He was just like, why it's so hot in here? I mean, complaining about everything, just had something negative to say. And it was crazy because to me, the metaphor I got from that is like, you're helping people who need help, but they don't appreciate it. You know what I mean? And a lot of these things kind of are reflecting back on Issa's life, because that's what I guess, with the whole Molly situation, it's like, I do these things for you and I do that, but you're really not appreciating. You're not coming to me when I need help. When I want to talk to you, it's just all about you. And that's what George represented to me. George was like, everything he said was hilarious, because it was just like how she even was able to still help him, because I would have been like, sir, get out. But anyway, and then he had to stop. He had to use the bathroom. He came out with that fun dip. I used to eat that when I was a kid. It's like a candy stick and it's the powder, and you dip it into the powder and you eat it. I was like, they still make that? I was like, they still make fun dip? She was like, is that fun dip? So anyway, he comes out and he's still, complaining, whatever. He sees his friend. He said his friend is being shady, yada, 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 yada. And Issa was like, okay, could you just let me know where you got to go? Because I need to get you there so I can get to my event. And then it turns out that when she dropped him off, he was actually going, I guess, to his child's house, because when he opened the door, the young man was like, Dad? And so like what I got from that, because I did make a cute note about that. Hold on. Let me find out. Y'all, I done skipped the whole part, but I'm going to come back to that. Give me 1 second. It was a part. Oh, okay. What I got from that situation is, although George was a mess, at the end, Issa was doing something good for him, because all of these like metaphors like really play into her own life. Like, although George was complaining, he was a mess, he was actually on his way to do something good. So sometimes that just could let you know, just because people could be messy, the way they act, the way they're doing things, at the end, they do still have a good heart. Because y'all know what I think. I think at the end of the day, Molly really loves Issa. She just don't know how to go about it. And so, that was the whole, situation with that. And George was kind of like representing that. Like, even though I'm a mess, even though I'm not acting non-appreciative, at the end of the day, I'm doing something good by seeing my child. Okay. So that was a really good, metaphor what I picked up. But we need to go back, because I got my notes, but I'm barely glancing at it. But y'all, before we even really go on from there, because we need to get to the sip and drawer. What's it called? The chat and sip, the drawer and sip. We're going to get to that in a minute. But y'all, we have got to talk about the follow-up after the block party with the people that was involved. So first of all, child, Koya, that's her name, Koya, who's the executive assistant, aka the intern. She is really taking her job seriously. She calling Issa back. She's like, listen, so we still getting deposits from the vendors. I mean, she was just like taking her job, but I'm not mad at Koya, because we like those people. We like those people that's gonna take initiative and really go in and do their job and make your job a little easier. So Koya was doing that. But child, another laugh out loud moment is when hold on, let me get her name, because I wrote her name, Miss YouTube, honey, Miss Shannon, when she got up there, very professional, and she was just like, okay, we about to throw Issa under the bus with her event. And when she said, and y'all part my friend, she was like, niggas, fried chicken, cocoa butter, and violence. I said, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. She had a whole catchphrase, a whole slogan. I mean, she just overlooked all the good and went for the stereotypes. I said, did she just say that? Did she just say niggas? And you trying to be taken seriously, girl? Girl, stop. That thing was hilarious. I cracked up. She was just like, okay, you see how people do you? See, give people a chance and then they throwing you under the bus. But anyway, child, so getting back. So now we're going to go to the sip and serve. Child, the paint and sip. That's it. It's the paint and sip. I've never been, obviously, so I didn't know the name. The paint and sip where Kyla Pratt. Y'all know Kyla Pratt, right? From Love and Basketball. She was in the building looking very cute. Her haircut was popping, her little crown, because she was getting married. So her friends, I guess, was getting together, and that's one of the things that they were doing for her bachelorette weekend. And so Issa comes in. So right there, that's showing us a different dynamic, new friends. Okay, so they're giving us the new friends because now we're moving on to new friends. And so now she's there with the young ladies and they're doing their little banter back and forth, yada, yada, yada. And Issa was like, well, listen, I got my wine. We can share, da-da-da. And it was just really, 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 really fun. And so after the event is over, so, the young ladies was like, oh, we're going to, to the bar or wherever they were going. You want to come? And so Lisa looks at Mirror Issa. Issa looks at Mirror Issa, and Mirror Issa was like, go. And I got something to say about Mirror Issa at the end. So y'all stay tuned for what I think about Mirror Issa. So Mirror Issa was like, go ahead, go. So they went and they at the table. I mean, it looks like a kiki time. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Issa's getting some new friends. She's getting to meet people. And they were talking. And then, they started asking Issa about, I guess, what she did. And Issa started sharing. And she was like, yeah, I do this, I do that. And she called herself I got it written down. The curator, the cultural curator. And, so now they're like, okay, so you really doing your thing. Like, you all the way up, like you really doing your thing. And so she was like, yeah, I guess I am, yada, yada, yada. And so then she went to the bathroom with this young lady, Kenzie. So Kenzie was like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom. Issa's like, I'm going too. And the good thing, I'm so glad Issa had her pocketbook with her because I wasn't sure when I saw it the first time. But when I synced it again, I said, okay, good. She had her bag with her. And she went into the bathroom and she's just talking to Kenzie, telling her, if you want this kind of man, Issa knew all the men, where to get all the men. She's like, if you want to get a man like this, if you want to get a man like this is where you go. Then as she's asking Kenzie more questions, Kenzie ain't nowhere to be found. I was like, because at first I got scared. This is the first time I got scared watching Insecure, because I said, did she die from being drunk? Did she pass out? I didn't know what happened. But Kenzie was ghost, honey, ghost. Kenzie left. When Issa got back out to that table, not only did they leave her with the bill of God knows how much it was, she found a list of things that we're gonna do, like a scavenger hunt, play thing for the bachelorette weekend. And she saw, befriend a stranger was on there. But not only did they befriend her, but they used her. See, Issa, you got used. That's crazy. That is being used. When you are being taken advantage of, people hear what you can do. They take advantage of what you can do. Does that sound familiar? They take advantage of what you can do. They use you, and then they get to step in, because that's exactly what they did. They got to step in, and then listen, she only had about $10 on her card to get the wine. So I don't know how she paid. Maybe she washed dishes or something. I don't know. I don't know how she paid for that meal, because I'm sure that was probably over $100. I'm sure of it. But anyway, so that was really, really crazy. Again, another metaphor. It's just a lot of metaphors being shown, because now Issa's, it's almost kind of like a lot of these things now, she's getting a reflection of maybe, what was being told to her earlier. So the friendship was all a game, it was all a game. And so I wrote a little note. I tried to be deep, y'all. I said, just because someone is nice doesn't mean they have your best interest. And just because someone is nasty don't mean they don't love you. Okay, because those girls was very nice and they did not have your best interest in mind. So I was trying to get a little metaphorical. I was trying to get a little deep on this episode, because this episode was a little deeper for me. Okay, so anyway, after that, she goes to see her mother. Now, let me tell y'all already know when all else fails, when you've hit the wall, when you've fallen down and can't get up, usually the first place you go is your mother, because ain't no love like a mother's love. And even if you don't like your mama, she gonna always try to reach out. She a decent woman. So she went to her mother. Thank God we get to see now where Issa came from. We saw it a few weeks back, but now we really get to see the mother-daughter relationship flesh out. Go ahead, Wendy Raquel Robinson. Okay, looking fabulous. So anyway, she goes to her mother's house. And the thing about mothers that are really cool, her mother cut straight to the chase. She was just like, What's wrong, baby? What's going on? Come here, just give me a hug. Like, she could just see through any facade. That's what mothers do. They see through all the facades, anything you are trying to hide or disguise. She said, come here, baby. And you know, when you get that come here, baby, and then they hug you, and you already know once they hug you, like, Issa just let it all out. So that was just all that frustration and all of that build up. She just let it out, and she started crying in her mother's arms. And then her and her mother sitting there, and they started discussing like growing pains, because that's basically what the mother was like. This is growing pains, what you're going through. And then she was just like, things happen, because even though you guys weren't planned, I didn't plan you and Amal, but you were the best things that ever happened to me. So this is the encouragement Issa needed. Issa needed this encouragement, because after she left her mother's house, Kelly called her. Kelly was checking in, and then Kelly said something that everybody's been talking. It's been all the buzz about, we need more from Kelly. We need more from Kelly. But we got a little taste, because Kelly said, oh, you ignoring me like my biological father. So there may be a storyline in that, because her biological father is ignoring her. Okay, maybe that's why she's so over the top, so funny, so this and that. Because usually a lot of times people who are like really over the top and, like how Kelly is, there's some buried stuff deep down, way underneath the surface. So when she said that, I said, okay, this is the first time we're getting even a little touch or a little sense of anything about Kelly. Because she was like, you ignoring me like my biological father. All right. So then Issa was just like, well, listen, I'm not making the first move, because I guess Kelly was like, well, are you going to make the first move? Are you going to say something? And Issa was like, nah, I'm not doing that. And I got the sense that Issa was in a better place. She was in a better place when she was leaving her mother's house, because her mother just encouraged her. Her mother validated her, and now she is feeling herself. And so Self-Care Sunday continues. Okay, she goes home. Now she's starting to respond to all her comments. She's in that kitchen dancing, and Issa I'm just praying that that's the character. Issa, I'm really hoping that in real life you could dance, because that dance that your character be doing be killing me, okay? So now, she's starting to respond to her comments. She even let them know, like, what, the next one is coming. Stay tuned. And then, she's feeling really good. And now she's feeling herself, because, after you're cleaned and now you're ready to eat. So she goes to that Ethiopian restaurant. If you guys remember from season 1, episode 1, that's the restaurant that her and Molly went to. And so she goes to the restaurant, and she sees Molly sitting in the restaurant. Okay. Now this is what's so interesting to me. So the restaurant was, I'm sorry, child, I just got confused just that quick. Molly has been in every episode of Insecure. And I was like, wow, this is going to be the first episode that Molly's not in. And then when they show her at the end, I said, there you go. They got to have Molly. They got to have the girl in the show. And so Molly is sitting there looking very unbothered, looking like she's on her phone. But we don't even know if she low-key wanted Issa to show up. Because, sometimes we do things subliminally. We don't even realize why we're doing it. But she was looking very unbothered in the Ethiopian restaurant. And this is what I wanted to say about Mirror Issa. Did y'all catch that when Mirror Issa looked in the mirror didn't say nothing back? Notice how the mirror was giving her advice, kick that George out the car, don't help the pregnant girl, yada, 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 go with them to the bar, the girls with the bar. And did you know when she went to that restaurant, Mirror Talk didn't have anything to say? And what I got from that is that she was feeling better about herself. She was feeling more confident, because when she wasn't confident, she was second guessing herself. She had to double check. She had to look. She had to see, you think this is okay? You think this is good? But when she got her strength about her, when she got her encouragement about her, when she got, feeling just a lot better about herself, she didn't need Mirror Talk to say anything, because Mirror didn't say nothing back to her, and she just left on her own. So that was an amazing metaphor as well, just letting you know, like, when you're unsure, that's when you got to ask 5 and 6 and 20 and 50 people. But once you know what you want to do, you ain't got to ask nobody. I was like, no more therapy is needed once you make up your mind. That's my thing. My thing is, when you really make up your mind for real, and you know what you want for real, all of a sudden you don't need to ask nobody, you don't need to consult with nobody, you don't need to pray with nobody, you just make changes. So As we can see, Issa, she definitely turns a corner by talking to her mother. Yes, she probably will still go through it, but she definitely turns a corner this episode because now, it's just got really real. Things are happening with her friendship, and now she has to make some decisions on what is really going to make her happy, what is the next step to my life, and how can I maintain this happiness. Okay? All right, y'all. Whew, I got it all out. So that's what I got from this week. Let me know. Drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. If you agree, disagree, let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you, okay? So as you know, this is your girl, Jane B, a.k.a. the Common Sense Diva. Definitely subscribe to this channel. Share if you care. And I will see you on the next time, okay? Bye.